You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
What is up, Wisconsin? You're listening to Raised in Wisco. My name is Joel Clayfish. I have the honor, the privilege of hosting this fantastic show along with my sidekick, the sliding, turkey-talking Danielle Fairman, the host
Slide right in
of
those
the
turkey
state,
DMs.
Miss Wisconsin. Hey, you know what?
Miss Wisconsin?
If I could slide into Turkey's DMs, I'm about ready to do it. Boy, oh boy. I am so excited about this show. Danielle Fairman joins me. You know, we've been together in the great outdoors for better part of 2 decades, hunting, fishing, loving every minute of it. And the exciting thing is now we get to do a radio show that is all about taking the great things of the state of Wisconsin and bringing them to the people of Wisconsin.
Sure do. And we get to include
hunting,
everybody else
fishing,
into this.
Hiking, sideways banana.
Yes.
That's
Your favorite thing ever.
If you don't
sideways
know what
bananas.
It is. And I can't stop.
Also known as kayaking.
I'm a bull in a small china shop when I go inside of a kayak. You want to talk about a top-heavy revolution? That's what's going on there. I get in, it's top-heavy, and there's a revolution, and ends up with me on the bottom of the lake.
Well, I've gained like 10 pounds after eating Chef Lawton's
you know
food.
What?
Okay, relax.
I was just going to get to that.
Everyone
Must be bikini season. Now I have to buy one of these things. Buy
a bigger bikini. Who cares?
I've never been a fan of wearing a bikini myself.
No?
I had a lifeguard in a Speedo. So I was a lifeguard at Horror Pool in Waukesha, Wisconsin. And I tell you what, we had to wear Speedos for the first couple of years that I was a lifeguard there. And that, for folks listening, that's not pretty under any circumstances. A bunch of male lifeguards in Speedos. And then there was a guy named, well, I should probably not say his name, but it rhymed with Tim Hopper. And Tim Hopper wore a Speedo, and Tim Hopper was a larger man. He was a larger man. Okay. And there was a point at which...
own it?
Well, let me just say there was a point at which you couldn't see the Speedo because Tim was
That's fun.
He was a little, he liked his Wisconsin food and culinary, and you couldn't see the Speedo.
That happens to me under my Speedo.
Oh boy, that's an off-limits topic right there. But there were points at which, and it was very odd because that summer there were many moms at the pool named Karen. If you can believe that. And
popular name.
The next summer came out and we wore boxers. Boxers.
Because of the Karens.
So that's my little story about Speedos. Anyway, I don't know how we got there.
Good story.
It's turkey season in Wisconsin. It is my very favorite time of the spring, and that is May, when the weather's starting to get a little nicer, and I have had such an incredible time turkey hunting, and it was hard for me this season.
Yeah?
I just finished my first season of turkey hunting, and I finally got one. I had the chance to hunt with our chef, Ellie Lawton. I had the chance to hunt with Megan Salazar, who is with us today, and I'm really excited to talk about that because she and I hunted. I was up at 2:45 this morning getting ready for that hunt, and we're going to talk about that hunt. But before I go any further, I want to highlight for you folks, if you don't understand the joy we have and the privilege it is to have a designated French culinarian and a certified chef for this show. Ellie Lawton is a certified French chef, and she's also the real deal when it comes to hunting in the outdoors. So we eat... honest to God, I do not know how I'm not 500 pounds and with disappearing Speedos at this point.
Okay, everyone relax. The percentage that you dine with me is not going to impact your weight. So whatever y'all do outside of me feeding you, that is your problem, not mine.
You need to get defensive about the fact that you cook such awesome food. Okay?
I'm sorry I blew up.
And we eat like 3 servings of the food when you make it.
Yes, it's fantastic.
Full.
I'm really excited to talk about today's recipe because it incorporates, I don't know if it does. I'm guessing it's going to incorporate the wild turkey that Chef Lawton harvested herself 2 days ago. We also have George Ermert here, a common friend of the show. George
Joel's
is
best
you
friend. Let's
got to say it the
clarify.
right. No, you got to say it the
Best
right
friends
way.
forever?
No, you got to say it the right way.
George's best
is
friend.
Joel's best friend. George thinks Joel's his best. I don't know how it works.
You have to say it the
George,
right
why
way.
don't you clear
One of my
that up
very
for us?
I am
buddies.
Joel's best friend.
Yes. Okay. And you're also a really good eater.
Yes,
I am.
George is a
And
good
I
eater.
appreciate that.
For as physically fit as George appears, he is a very good eater. My mom would call you a good eater.
George doesn't complain about me making him gain weight. He eats
Oh.
responsibly.
I do.
Okay.
He eats responsibly.
Well, my apologies for eating irresponsibly.
I'm not sorry. It was fantastic.
It was fantastic. And George is here because we just had a really quite exciting event before the show today.
We did.
We were able to unbox taxidermy that came here from Europe, from Croatia.
How did you keep it in your garage without peeking in it?
Well, because I told George I wanted it to be exciting. I wanted to be fresh off of seeing what was in the box that had come from Croatia with George here. George and I hunted Croatia together, and you got to stick around because we're going to talk about that. Jacob, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, me? I'm over the moon,
Yeah,
Joel.
Jacob looked over his shoulder. He's running the joint from the fishbowl in Racine.
He's working hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you receive any packages from Europe this week?
No, and thankfully I haven't seen any Speedos either, so no packages or Speedos in my face this week, and I'm feeling good about that.
No packages and no packages.
That's good.
And Joel, if you try to send me that package, I'm returning it to sender, so just let you know.
Don't you worry about a thing, Jacob. We'll send you pictures of the taxidermy. That's
It was beautiful
I'll take
I did
taxidermy.
take a video of the unboxing.
Yes.
It was fantastic.
That
It
has to be
was-
the best piece of mail I've ever seen in my life.
It was pretty cool, and we're
Agreed.
going to get to that, and I can't wait to share that with you. George and I had an unbelievable time in Croatia. We were hunting Dalmatian sheep, and what I really think I think they're just wild sheep on the Dalmatian coast, so they call them Dalmatian sheep, basically.
There we go.
But George shot just an absolute beauty of a sheep, a real representative sample out there, and it was fantastic. His first real kind of big game harvested outside the United States.
Oh, was it? I did not
It's
know that.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was a
That
really
makes it even
neat
more
trip.
spectacular. And
We
you guys
had-
got medals.
Yes, we did get medals. We're not exactly sure what the medals mean because it's in Croatian, but
Then they can mean whatever you want them to mean.
I think they meant
World's greatest shooter.
I was going to say they probably mean best friends.
I was just going to say, I think they're not medals. They're
Gold
best friend
medal
necklaces.
best friends.
That's funny because my medal said most handsome hunter. I don't know.
You got George's.
Oh my gosh! Well, let's get
Danielle and I are on fire tonight.
you
Watch
guys are
out.
definitely not nothing.
Get
that's
your
for
buckets
sure.
of water ready.
Okay, so Weekly
Boy.
Wisco is
Let's
obviously.
get to our Weekly Wisco. My Weekly Wisco happened this morning. Megan Matthews and I. So Megan is part of the Women's Hunting and Sporting Association, and Megan, I've known Megan for more than a year now, and she's part of a women's hunting group that I'm actually a part of as well. I joined it because I wanted to be a supportive member of this, the fastest growing segment of new hunters in Wisconsin and the United States is women aged 18 to 45. And I think we need to foster that. And Megan and I got to know each other. And Megan had never harvested a male turkey before. Now, I'm going to tell you, this was my turkey hunting week. And I have been busting my ass out there in the woods trying to kill a turkey, trying to kill a big turkey. And, you know, Danielle and George.
Did you use my trick that I told you last week from Josh?
I tried to use I tried to use every trick in the book, but I will tell you something happened while turkey hunting
What
that has
happened?
never happened to me with a shotgun before in my life.
No.
Yep, it's not dangerous. George, do you have a guess? Megan, do you have a guess?
You missed.
I missed.
No, you did
Yes,
not.
I did.
You don't
I
miss.
missed. I missed. Yes, I did. So for all of you out there who get out there and you miss and you beat yourself up about it, don't do it. Everybody misses.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
you don't miss, you're not actually a hunter.
Hey,
But
I'm in
That's
that
how you
club this year
practice.
too.
you missed too this year.
I sure did.
Yes, you did. You
I
missed.
missed
them.
a
You missed
beautiful
it.
Tom.
Did. You missed
sure
the
did.
bearded hen.
Yeah, Danielle, we don't have to talk about last year. Okay?
Danielle.
Was it last year?
Let's leave the past in the past.
Danielle and Ellie and I hunted together in the fall last year.
And I could, you know what? I would have been better off just hitting her with a stick. She was so nice and close.
I'm sorry to open up that wound again.
Oh,
I'm
no,
sorry.
that's okay. That is still a wound.
Come on.
No, it's
Listen,
not.
I think Ellie, Chef Lawton, you get one miss a year because your food is
Yeah.
so good that covers for the one
I
miss.
covered
a
it
year.
for you. So I'm going to be getting myself back on track.
So Megan, I said Megan was like, "Hey, let's hunt. Do you, can
Well, it
got
was
some
good that you
spots?"
missed.
What? Yes, because
Was
we wouldn't
it?
have a
Yeah,
chance
Because we
to hunt
had
together.
the perfect textbook hunt this morning, and had he not missed, he wouldn't have been able to shoot this morning with me.
That's a fact. That is a fact. So take us. I want to. Megan's never harvested a male bird before. Take me through what was going through your mind and how that hunt went.
Well, I mean, I guess we have to start with Saturday when we saw that absolutely beautiful tom that just would not jump the ditch.
Yeah,
Tom.
we
That's
had a
right. We
beautiful
did.
Saturday
Megan
hunt.
and I and Ellie hunted Saturday. We had a tom come right to the fence line, but wouldn't come onto the property that we had permission on.
Oh, no,
We
of
couldn't
course it
shoot-
wouldn't.
It was,
He was
20
huge.
yards away, but we couldn't shoot it. It
Yes.
was on
I
someone
feel like
else's
that's like
property.
one of the pivotal moments for every hunter because Josh and I have experienced that too. They were just right on that ridge line,
Yep.
just right there.
Refusing. Just
So
cross the line,
tempting to
man.
cross it, but you don't.
Yes,
you can't.
but you know what? You'd regret it so much if you shoot
Oh, yes.
it on permission
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
have.
You don't want
Oh,
to
yeah,
do
it
that.
changes the whole entire experience.
Right.
However, he was very cool to watch.
It was,
Yeah.
we had a great show.
Yeah.
Yeah. it
And
was
we guys were
beautiful.
talking about how you can hear the difference between the Jake and the Tom.
Yeah, so that happened this morning.
That was this morning. Okay.
Yeah, so when we walked in, we sat down. What time were we in the blind by? Like
Oh,
five?
I think by
5:30?
no, heaven's sakes. We were in there by 4:40.
Oh yeah, it was pretty
AM.
early. It was pretty
Yeah,
dark.
because
like,
by 5:15 it was bright out. It was already light bright out. I mean, shooting time this morning was like 5:15. It was real early.
yeah, so we heard some gobbles, and then we heard some more, and you could tell the difference between the Jakes and the Toms. So we were just trying to see what's coming out first.
So are the
And-
Jakes more high pitched?
Yeah.
It's not a hard and fast rule, but usually the toms are more of a and then the jakes are more of a
Yeah.
I mean,
Just like
that's
that? Okay.
not very
Nailed
much
it.
like that.
Yep, nailed it.
Clearly.
Everyone can successfully do that now after your demonstration.
Well, I would shake off my headphones if I did.
I can't do it.
But we
anyway.
definitely heard the higher pitched jakes. I said, "There's jakes, and if they all come together, we're counting to 3." And I can't wait to tell you how that sorted out for Megan and me. This is Raised in Wisconsin.
Go.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
Raised in Wisco is your one-stop shop for the great outdoors in the great state of Wisconsin, and the great radio conglomerate Civic Media allows you to listen to Raised in Wisco throughout the state on 21 stations. Danielle, where can they catch the show if they miss it live on Saturdays at 11?
If you miss it live on Saturdays at 11, you can see our beautiful faces on our Facebook feed. Give us a like right there when you watch our reels, and then you can go to listen to us on Spotify. You can listen to us on YouTube, and then as well as Apple Music.
Yeah, so check us out. And we got Jakob in the Fishbowl and Racine helping us out here in Concord, Wisconsin at WFSH. And it is awesome because I know we're running ragged because we're trying to pack so much into one show.
Yes.
Megan Salazar is here with us. George from the Wisconsin Waterfowl Association. Of course, our certified French chef, Ellie Mae Lawton, is here. She's going to talk about a fantastic recipe and chime in, I hope, for some turkey hunting stories.
We'll see.
The comedic stylings of Ellie Mae Lawton.
Very true.
We left you with the birds gobbling and talking about the difference between a Jake and a Tom. Now, for those of you who may not know, a Jake is a 1-year-old male turkey. And in some cases, a late hatch Tom or a super Jake is a Jake that was hatched late the previous year. Maybe the hen's eggs got eaten earlier and she relayed them. And those birds that were tiny that fall, they're 1.5 years now. And they've got like maybe 5 or 6 inch beards. So they're not full-blown Toms, but they're not really Jakes anymore. And we heard these gobbles coming from far off, and we were sitting in a corridor and I have to be honest, I don't hardly ever sit with anybody that they see the animal first.
Unless you're with
You're
Megan.
on your
Unless you
game,
are with
Megan.
Megan.
It happened on Saturday too.
Oh, this is very exciting. I'm loving this even more
I
and
mean,
more.
Megan is like, why are you loving it? Because someone's doing better than me at hunting, Danielle?
Because you are superb at everything you
taking
do.
joy in my pain? Is that what's...
Are you in
No,
pain?
No. I
Oh my gosh! Speaking of turkey hunting, I feel like I'm on that turkey hunt with you two last month when you want to stop fighting.
Wow.
I can't wait for our turkey hunt again.
I can't wait either.
That's gonna be fun.
very
Do I get to come to that one?
Absolutely.
Good, because someone has to
We'll see how the
referee.
rest of the show goes.
We'll see if Danielle and I let you come.
That's probably more accurate. That is probably more accurate.
Okay, so continue.
So Megan says we're kind of in a corridor, and Megan, for the 3rd or 4th time, says there's a turkey.
3rd or 4th time?
Yeah.
This season, we hunted a few
And I
times
said,
already.
give me
There's
your
a turkey.
binoculars.
And here they were. And Megan, so Megan, the beauty of taking Megan on this hunt, she's never killed a male turkey before. So I have a chance to be with her when she's experiencing a real milestone. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool thing.
It's awesome.
And she's pie-eyed, and we're just trying to get a glimpse at these things. And you even tell them what you saw behind the turkeys.
A Tom. He didn't want to come out of the woods.
Of course.
And he just kind of hung back on the hill. So we waited just to see what they were going to do. And they came straight to the decoys. I mean, they took a little their sweet old time to get there, but they came and then they were on top of the decoys and they were on top of each other.
Yes.
So we had to wait. We had to wait a while.
Well, it is spring, so.
And they are Jakes are kind of like high school boys. That's the way I describe.
Yeah, they are teenage boys.
Yeah, they're like teenage boys. They run around in a pack. They do not separate from each other, and they're always pushing each other. Like
Yep.
That's
punching
exactly what
each other,
happened.
and they're kind of boxing each other out. And so I said to Megan, "All right, listen, we're going to do this. I'm going to count to 3. We're going to shoot on 3." But the biggest problem, the toughest part of hunting like this is you have to make sure they're separated enough, because when you shoot with a shotgun, hundreds of BBs come out, and you can very easily kill 2 with one shot. And they were bunched up. I mean, holy cow, they were bunched up like the doorway at Best Buy on Good Friday.
Black Friday.
Black Friday, not Good Friday.
They
Black
should have
Friday.
sales on Good Friday too.
Yeah, they should.
Really good one.
So we're sitting there, and I how long did we have our guns up?
Did you just get that?
I did.
Like at least 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah, we sat there with guns ready at least 10 minutes. And
And at one point
finally-
they did separate, but then they moved all of a sudden too, because I had to tell you no.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I was going to do the count. They moved, and so I was going to do the count, but I was looking at the turkey I was going to shoot at.
Yep,
It was separate enough. And she said no, because they all had their head down, and she wouldn't really have had a decent shot at one. So
Nice.
we waited longer again.
Yep.
And then finally, I said, you got that one ISO'd? There was one to the left, one to the right. I was on the right. The
Luckily,
count-
they were 2 biggest in the group too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were the 2 biggest. There's no doubt about that. So I counted, and I've never had it go that well. I said 1, 2, bang. And it sounded like
One shot. We blew out the pilot light on the heater that we didn't even use. It was such a
That's
beautiful
cool.
morning.
Yes. We blew the pilot light out on the heater. The gunshots did. And we both shot at the same time, perfect ethical shots, and those turkeys were down.
Oh,
and
that's
that
wonderful.
was awesome. Then we took some beautiful pictures and had
Well,
one
congratulations on your
heck of a
time.
Yes,
you.
that's
Yeah, how
fabulous.
does it feel? How does it feel to know that you just for the first time killed a beautiful male turkey?
Well,
for the
I told
first
you,
time?
why didn't you guys convince me to do this sooner?
Yeah,
What have I been doing this entire time? Shooting
Right?
ducks
It's
and
such a
What have you
beautiful
been
man.
doing?
eating your food?
Get all
you've
fat
been,
and sassy.
I've been on several hunts with you, and you are a really good shot. You hardly ever miss.
It was just turkey wasn't
You've been
anything
shooting.
I grew up with.
You've
Well, I
been
guess
shooting
it is.
ducks
Yeah.
and pheasants like crazy.
Well, it was a privilege to be able to take you on your first hunt ever. It was a picture perfect morning, beautiful sunrise. We got to
wonderful.
take some nice pictures and throw a couple of big old turkeys in the trunk of the car. Now, I took the Jake fan and I fanned it out and put borax on it to preserve it to use for a future decoy setup. And the neighbor dog already this same day took it out of my garage and took off with
I
it.
hope you don't get
So-
sick from the borax.
Actually, well, I'm gonna. I hope he doesn't get sick.
We're picking up
either.
what you're putting down.
But a little frustrated about that. I had the most beautiful turkey fan for a future decoy, and it disappeared thanks to the neighbor dog.
I plucked mine.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yes,
Really?
I did. I plucked it and then I broke it down
Well, that will be
because I wanted to
intriguing.
leave the skin on to see what happened.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that sounds. I'm very excited to talk about that. I can't wait to talk about the food. We're going to talk about, and I'm really excited because George Ermert is here. George and I, George is a member of the board of the Wisconsin Waterfowl Association. He is a friend of mine. We are hunting together. Coincidentally, George killed his first turkey when I took him turkey hunting. So
Coincidentally.
with Megan.
That's what best friends do.
That's what best friends do.
They make memories together.
Does that mean we're best friends now?
What's that?
Does that mean we're best friends now?
I guess it does. I guess we're all.
Well,
best
what about
friends.
Danielle and I? Because this morning you told me in front of Megan that we were best friends, and
I-
you told Danielle you were best friends. So we're trying to figure
we're
out
best
what's going
friends
on.
too?
Oh, of course, Danielle. We've been best
I'm like
friends
the
for
OG
decades.
best friend though.
That's right. We're all best friends, and pretty soon Jacob's going to be my best friend too. I can't wait to talk about Croatia. We're going to talk about food there. We're going to talk about mounts that came back. What a pain in the rear that is. And you are joining us on Raised in Wisco. This is Raised in Wisco. My name is Joel Clayfish. I am joined by the hostess with the mostest, Danielle Fairman, and part of our regular cast, the certified French chef, Ellie Mae Lawton, who is very responsible for giving us pretty phenomenal food, bringing it to the show
Yes.
every week. I mean, it's a little bit of a ridiculous bar you've set there, Chef Lawton. Do you know that?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, okay, here's a compliment.
What do you got?
I was never confident in the kitchen. Like I need a recipe.
Yeah.
Never had staples. Whatever. I actually feel better about my kitchen skills.
Good. And you
Yes.
should. You've made very delicious food for us.
Of course, Pinterest helps.
That
but
is true.
Pinterest is wonderful.
Part of the beauty of it is, though, she's had the training and gone through the courses, and we get to just learn it.
We do.
And
For free.
Megan Salazar
And you
is
get
here,
my special twist on all of it.
and we get a special twist on it. And one of the cool things is we do a lot of fusion, and I think this week's kind of a fusion. At least it's a fusion between kind of a Mexican, American, and wild game. So that was harvested this past week. So that's going to be really exciting to listen to. On Raised in Wisco, once in a while, the show is about Wisconsin and about how fantastic Wisconsin is. But we talk about taking it outside of the box from time to time. And that's why my friend George Ermert is here. George is a board member of the Wisconsin Waterfowl Association. We are working closely together to try to pass a sandhill crane hunting season
that'd
in
be
the state of
wonderful.
Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
And we're doing it with the Wisconsin farmer in mind, making sure that the farmers are made whole from the crop damage that cranes are causing. And of course, to those crane lovers out there, we are also crane lovers. And
Yeah, they're
we want to
beautiful.
make sure that that species is proliferated throughout the state. And as with anything in conservation, the balance is the key.
It is.
And if they become overpopulated and do economic and farm damage, there is room for harvest of those animals to put on your table and to use as a resource in Wisconsin. So George and I are working on that. But before we started our venture working together on that, George and I headed to Croatia together. It was George's first out of the country hunt, and it was the first of mine with George. And we had an unbelievable time. George,
We had an awesome time. I mean, let's just be honest. It was awesome.
it was awesome.
It was
You
awesome.
you guys hadn't hunted before Croatia?
We hadn't hunted outside of the United
Got
States
it.
together
Okay.
before. I had the honor and privilege of being at George's side when he shot his first turkey, which was pretty darn exciting as well. But I got to tell you, Croatia I think it's a hidden secret. It really is. George, what did you think about when we got there and we first started got to explore Croatia?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's stunning. It looked nothing like what I expected. I mean,
What did you expect?
Well, being a former communist country, I was expecting it to be very gray, very, gray buildings and blockish, just not beautiful. And it was the opposite of that. It was stunning. It had a Mediterranean feel. The food was fantastic, and the people were beyond perfect.
Oh,
Yeah, the people
the
were
perfect
so
first
wonderful.
trip for you then.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, out of all the countries I've been to in Europe, I would say Croatia is my favorite.
Wow.
How long were you guys gone for?
We were there a week, and the beauty of this trip was it really feels like the Amalfi Coast in Italy. So it's right across a channel from Italy, and it feels very much like Italy. It's very Mediterranean. The food's Mediterranean, lots of olive oils, the sardine, fish, a lot of meat with olive oil, a lot of olive tapenades, and
Yum.
oh my gosh, it was fantastic. The food was fantastic. We spent
The best food I've ever had in Europe was in
Ooh.
Croatia.
Yeah.
Better than Italy.
I-
Better
Well-
than. I will say it. It was better than Italy.
What was your favorite thing that you ate there?
The seafood, sardines in particular. I actually,
Gosh, I could have. They're not like sardines. They're not
they're-
like sardines here.
No, they're not like here. I mean, you're popping them in your mouth like they're chips. They're
Oh my
delicious.
gosh. We had such.
I'll always try
they're
something.
they are delicious. We spent about half the trip in the city of Zadar, which is a medium-sized city right on the coast with one of the oldest churches in all of Europe. There was a church
Oh,
built
that sounds
there
beautiful.
in 300 AD. So 300 years after Jesus walked the earth, this church was built. And it was just beautiful. Zadar was absolutely glorious. The food was unbelievable. The Mediterranean, they have their own style of gyro that was to die for on their homemade flatbread. Unbelievable. Then
You're
we
really
went,
good at selling this.
Oh, I gotta tell you,
Like, geez, are you booking
your
trips
trips.
now?
it was indescribable. And then we went to an island off the coast of Croatia called Dugi Otok. And
That's fun.
It's fun to say, and it was even more fun to be there. And our guide, who was just one of the Marco was his name, a Croatian guy named Marco. He was so fantastic and so wonderful to spend time with. And I want George to tell his story of us sighting in the rifles and George's
I
experience.
love this story.
Because this is kind of epitomized the whole trip of the hunting portion for us.
This is a great story.
So, I had never been on one of these big game hunts. And I had asked Joel before we left, well, do I have to go to the range and practice? And he's like, no, you're used to shooting white-tailed deer. You'll be fine. Okay.
Okay.
So we get there, and the first night, and the guide, Marco, is like, we go out and, test gun. We want you comfortable. That's how Marco,
I love your
that's how
accent.
Marco sounds. That's how he sounds in my head. Okay.
Impersonation of Marco.
And so
Little
we
grotesque
drive
joke.
our little Toyota Hilux out on the fire roads, and we're in the mountains and desert. And he takes a picture of this rock out in the desert and shows us to it on his camera. And he goes, "You shoot," and it's 400 meters away.
This rock right here.
Yeah. So I'm like, wait, where is this? What? I can't see it. So Joel gets up first. Joel shoots, and he's like a little right. Joel takes a click to dial it in. Little right again. Clicks it one more time, and he is right on. Nailed the rock
Awesome.
right in the middle.
Good job.
That doesn't
three
surprise
shots,
me.
Three
Yep.
shots. I mean,
Pretty
just
good shot.
bullseye. So I get up, and I'm struggling. I'm like, where is this thing? I'm looking in the scope, and he's like, no, here. And so I shoot, and Marco right away says, no, not close. And I shoot again, and he says, no, way off. And then I shoot again, and Marco says, I can't even see it. So I am feeling very embarrassed and I'm mad because I'm like, Joel, I didn't think I was gonna be shooting 400 yards, and now I came all the way out here. I'm not even gonna shoot anything. So I'm feeling real sad. Yeah, I was sad.
Aw.
Very embarrassed. And so I get back in the truck. He's like, "Do you want to shoot again?" And I'm like, "No." And so Marco goes to me. He goes,
They're there.
Don't worry. We will find a close one for you."
Aw, attaboy, Marco.
So making me feel better. So I'm sitting in the back seat, sulking of the Toyota Hilux, and we're driving on these fire roads, just glassing for sheep. And we turn a corner, and there is a beautiful, very old Dalmatian sheep ram.
Beautiful.
Yeah, just standing right in the middle of the fire road.
Oh, perfect.
Probably about 100 yards from us. And so we stop.
More
and
like 50.
Obviously, you're really good
What
at
a man
it.
is 50, all right? He's on the rough
Still a little bit better.
here.
it's my story right now.
That's fine.
And so Marco sees it, and he puts up his binoculars, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, that is a nice one. Someone needs to shoot it." And everyone right away goes, "George, you're up."
George.
So I get out and, very quietly get out of the truck and basically just stand next to the truck and, take a shot and down the sheep. And
That's exciting.
well, it was very exciting.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. I mean, it didn't, it was an easy recovery because it didn't fall down the mountain. We
That's
didn't have
nice.
we didn't have to drag it up.
Yeah.
It was right there.
See you later, George. Good luck.
But what I didn't realize is, with the anatomy of these things, the kill zone is actually much smaller than on like a white-tailed
Sheep
deer.
are not huge.
No.
They're not big animals.
No, so you have to be very precise. And but I was, like any time you harvest something for the first time, your adrenaline's pumping. I was shaking.
Oh, yes.
I was absolutely shaking.
That's
And
how you know you're supposed to be hunting.
Yeah.
Until you lose that shake, then.
Yes. Don't
hunting.
ever lose that shake. That's right. Don't ever lose that nervousness. That is a fact.
I had it this morning.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah. so did
It
I.
was hard
Good.
walking out. I
Hey.
mean, granted, we were carrying 20-pound birds out too, and it was a lot more, but I was like, oh, I'm kind of winded now.
I had it this morning too. And when you lose that, it's time for you to retire your hunting boots. I'll tell you
Absolutely.
that. That moment. So George got his sheep in the mountains of Croatia on an island in Croatia. And imagine the sun setting in the background, cast upon the jagged rocks of a mountain with the Mediterranean Ocean behind you and
Wow.
setting up the pictures. It
Sounds like a
couldn't have
dream.
been a more beautiful. It's hair raising. I'll be honest.
Looking back, I mean, we were there almost a year ago now.
Yep.
And incredibly lucky to have that experience. And I will tell all the listeners out there, don't pass up experiences like this because that is what life is for.
right.
This is I have a great story to tell. And now I have a great piece of taxidermy to remind me of this wonderful experience I had with my best friend, Joel.
right.
It's beautiful.
Nice little slip right in there. And that's why we're bringing this up, because you did the wonderful unboxing today.
That's
Yes.
right.
We
We
did.
did. We actually received our trophies from Croatia. I had a mouflon sheep that I shot at 375 yards over there, and
Wow.
that was pretty
Yeah,
exciting.
not
and,
to brag, right, Joel?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
George, yours was 100 yards. That's good. Okay. You should be proud of yourself.
I received a box about 3 weeks ago, and I told George I wouldn't open it until today. We had a fantastic meal ahead of the show, and then we unboxed it. And the taxidermy from Europe, they do a very nice job. And George's sheep, his Dalmatian sheep, was in there, and it looks absolutely beautiful. And I can't wait for him to put it on the wall. And I want to say, I want to just take a minute. You know, life is short. We're not here on this spinning marble for very long. And you're never going to be on your deathbed and say, I'm glad I didn't do it. And life is about experiences. And I'm going to tell you, when you talk about Europe or you talk about other countries, so many people say, I can't afford it. The reality of it is you can live over there. The cost of a day of living over there is about the same as it cost us to live in our house. Personally here, you can do Airbnbs for $79 a night. Go have those experiences, because at the end of the day, what George was talking about, and I've heard each person in this room say it. I've heard Megan say it, Danielle. I've heard you talk about it. Ellie, I've heard you talk about it. Life is about experiences, not things.
It is.
And you're never going to regret an experience. So make sure that you do get out there and make that kind of thing part of your life. And that's what Raised in Wisco is about, helping you understand that life does not happen on a 3x5 inch screen in your palm. And I know I get a little harpy from time to time, but put the damn phone down sometimes. Yes. I can tell you, sitting here in this chair, that every single person on this panel, every regular on this show, and every guest who is sitting here today, I have had experiences that the best videos on TikTok or the best pictures on Instagram could not even touch.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. And you can look on the 3x5 to get the ideas of where to go, but then that's it. Go out there and experience it.
I'm grateful that you and Danielle take pictures, though, sometimes, because we all know I'm really terrible at that.
You are.
Yes.
I hate my phone so much. I want a flip phone.
I want to throw my phone. Wanted to throw my phone into the Mediterranean Sea that day, because when the experience we had in the food, and for me it is all about food. And one of the exciting things, Marco, I said, all right, now let's get the meat out of this sheep. And he looked at me, we don't eat them. And I thought, what?
Well, you don't eat them.
They don't eat the sheep there when they kill them. What? They don't eat them.
Well, we eat everything.
Well, I cannot wait to tell you what we did with that sheep and how we may or may not have changed Marco's mind. I promise.
You leaving us hanging like this?
We're going to leave you hanging. That's what we do on Raised in Wisco.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
Raised in Wisco is your place to learn about the great outdoors of Wisconsin. Especially, it is your place to learn how to cook and eat, because at the end of the day, what is Raised in Wisco?
A cooking show. Come on, you guys. Why are you guys leaving us hanging?
Why would she not get excited? She's the chef.
I know. I could feel the happiness radiating off of her.
George and I were in Croatia. We shot sheep, Dalmatian sheep on the Dalmatian coast, and the guide tells us we don't eat them. So I said, wrong. Yeah. Wrong. Please cut the meat off that sheep and bring it to me.
Yes.
And I will show you. We don't eat. It's disgusting.
Disgusting?
Sometimes we make into dog food.
No.
I thought, dog food? We will make into dog food. That's it. Ugh. So I took that sheep and I prepared it in a similar way that I prepare almost everything that everyone will love to eat, and I'll make it quick. And that is, I put it in a pot, though. I didn't have a crock pot. I put it in a regular pot, filled it with water, and I put Ivar in it, which is one of their sauces. I just threw it in with the water, and I made it over noodles with a sherry cream sauce. And Marco said, I will try it. Well, 3 full plates later, he said,
Good job, Joel.
I will never throw this away again.
Wonderful.
Never waste this again. I will cook it like this at my house.
So now you have to go back to make sure that he is eating it.
Oh,
Yes.
Marco couldn't believe that was sheep.
Yeah, he couldn't believe it.
He couldn't believe it.
It was delicious. And speaking of delicious, the cooking segment of the show.
Ooh.
And holy cow, did we eat some good food today.
We had
Chef
great
Lawton,
food.
This past week was Cinco de Mayo. So I think, was that kind of the inspiration for you today?
Well, actually, Megan and I were going to make a Croatian menu for tonight, but we ran out of time. So we changed it to Cinco de Mayo inspiration.
Perfect.
And
I'm not mad.
Joel, your recipe is actually the star of the meal tonight.
Oh, that is not even true.
Yes, it
I
is.
made
You
the
have to
meat.
talk about it.
Well, we decided on wild turkey.
Wild turkey birria tacos.
Yes, birria tacos, kind of the latest rage in Mexican food.
The French dip of tacos, if you will.
Yeah, that's a
That's the
perfect way
perfect.
to
Yeah,
say it.
yes.
I was saying
It's
the
like you have a
Philly
chef's brain.
cheesesteak of tacos, but it's much more a French dip.
But we didn't dip ours. We did a pour over.
Yeah, we did a pour over.
We did a pour over birria.
It's kind of
which
like a
was great.
flyover, but it's a pour over.
It was a pour over. It was
Well,
great.
I made the protein. I made the turkey that Chef Lawton shot 2 days ago.
Yep.
I cooked it in my standard way in a crock pot, water to the top, add your seasonings, add some oil, add some lemon juice, and just let it go till you can pull it apart, re-stir it, and you can use that for anything.
It was
And
so
then-
good.
It was.
And Chef Lawton, take it from there, because I was a little leery about turkey tacos. Chicken tacos,
Ooh.
yes, but turkey tacos, I was a little leery.
Well, George, you might agree with this. Wild goose and wild turkey could be in the same category.
Absolutely.
But I know you have recently had your mind changed about wild goose.
100% I have.
So
Like from bad to good or good to bad?
From bad to great.
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
Good. So did you think the turkey was good tonight?
Fantastic.
See, Joel.
We're blowing George's mind with wild game. He's becoming a very serious hunter, and he's now, as my Italian mom would say, a very good eater.
Very good eater.
Okay, so for assembling the birria tacos, we did it on the Blackstone because we all like to eat a lot, so we filled the entire griddle
Yes.
with corn tortillas. First, we put some olive oil on the Blackstone, medium heat. Corn tortillas, laid them flat, let them warm up a little bit so they could be a little bit pliable so they didn't crack when we folded them. Covered them in a Mexican cheese blend, put some of Joel's fantastic shredded wild turkey on them, folded them over, and then the leftover au jus, we can call it, or birria.
Sure, which is just basically the broth that's left after you cook it.
We just dumped that over the tortillas and then let those puppies cook on the griddle until they were crispy on both sides. And then we had
perfect.
a right wing sauce crema with it and cilantro and onions and some fresh garden salsa that I preserved last summer.
Well, Chef Lawton, I want you to talk about a crema. I think some people, when they hear crema, they get a little intimidated, but really,
It's just a thin sour cream. So we took
It's what?
a thin sour cream.
Oh, yeah.
So we took sour cream, lime juice, added some of the Sonora Provider spice and right wing sauce. That was it.
Which
It was
is basically
delicious.
a buffalo sauce.
Yeah,
And-
buffalo sauce and Sonora Provider spice is very similar to like a taco seasoning.
yeah. And it
Megan's got something to add to that.
Well, this morning I had pizza when I got back, and I made a
This morning you had pizza?
yeah. I
Nice.
made
Why
a-
not?
Well, it was long. She's been up for 10 hours
We've
by
been
then.
up since 3 o'clock
That's
in the
true.
morning.
That's true.
I made a right wing aioli, which is
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of like
Yep,
a
we've done that
but
before,
it's
yeah.
just a thinned out mayo.
Yes, correct.
That sounds
Yep,
delicious.
and that is really good. Danielle, you made that with your gator a while back.
I did. What
Yeah.
did you remember? I
I
did
don't
not
forget a
remember.
good meal.
Aw.
I don't either.
Yeah, so we enjoyed those tacos. I think we all had a couple. And
I had 3.
yeah.
Yeah, they were fantastic. I mean, absolutely fantastic. I think the key to this recipe, as simple as it is, and I think people are
very
going to
simple.
be very surprised how delicious it is for how simple it is. But you're really, and I don't mean to belittle the beautiful term birria
Birria.
tacos, but they're really kind of corn quesadillas.
Yeah, they are.
They're corn quesadillas.
They're quesadillas, but traditionally you would dip the tortilla shell before you start to assemble it. And then we, of course, dipped it into the leftover stock or broth, stew.
Consomme.
Yeah,
Consommé.
but it's not a true consomme.
Well, that's because you're a true chef. But
So why are we using corn instead of flour?
that's the key to the recipe.
Yes,
in my
it
opinion.
is. I mean, you can certainly use flour if you want. However, if you dip it, it may become a little bit mushy.
Oh,
The
yeah.
corn is
Yep.
a little bit hardier, so it'll kind of absorb the juice, but also crisp up along the edges,
Oh,
which
that's
is
exactly what you
want
wanted.
it crispy. Like I've had them before where they just weren't on the griddle long enough, and it's just not as pleasant. I want it crispy. I want the cheese to start to like come out and burn a little bit.
Absolutely. That's the
Yeah,
perfect
that's
part.
the best.
It is.
And I think the corn tortilla really, it adds this kind of sweetness. There's a little mild sweetness to the corn tortilla that enhances the flavor. We stacked them with chopped onions, cilantro, avocado.
Yeah.
And then you squeeze them back in there and eat them. And that crispy bite you get on the outside, the texture of that and the mouthfeel of that. And then you dig into that chewy, juicy center. And there is very little that you can think about other than that delicious taco. And tacos are a
Very little
simple
room in the
thing,
mouth.
but I will tell you, although tacos are simple, this recipe can have as many flavors in it as you want. Be creative out there. When you hear what we talk about, try it at home. Our biggest joy is hearing that those of you out there listening are experiencing the outdoors and the culinary things we talk about. We love it. We love being part of your life. We love that you're a part of Raised in Wisco. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.